Alrighty, what is up? What is up, everyone? Forever King here. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to be discussing the new patch that just dropped today. They told us they were going to release a patch after Final Combat. I thought it was going to be a little bigger, but it was just a little small patch. Supposedly there's a major balance patch that's going to be coming. Not sure how far in the future that is, if it's going to be happening soon or not. But we only got a little balance patch today. Let's check it out. So Reptile, fixed damage scaling on Force Ball when not enhanced. I'm not sure if that's going to make him stronger or weaker. Not really going to affect much in the grand scheme of things. So Peacemaker, this is a character, if you guys that watch Final Combat, like more than half of the top 16 and top 8 was just Peacemaker versus Johnny Cage. Grand Finals, Johnny Cage mirror, So it's kind of to be expected. I thought for sure that Johnny Cage and Peacemaker were going to get nerfed hard after Final Combat, after what we just watched. But Johnny Cage, surprisingly, zero changes. So Johnny Cage, he escaped the nerf hammer. So Peacemaker, Human Torpedo and Enhanced Human Torpedo now hits high, and then reduce base health value from 650, from 700 down to 650. So Peacemaker, a small little health nerf, only losing 50 health. So he's pretty much going to be in line with Johnny Cage, Geras, and some of the other characters in the game that got their health nerfed. The torpedo hitting high, to be honest, that's a very small nerf. That's like a tap on the wrist nerf, because torpedo was already unsafe on block as it is. So it's not like making it a high makes it punishable when it used to not be punishable. It was already punishable. If you think he's going to do a torpedo, you just block and punish. Simple as that. But now I guess there's more options to punish it. You can crouch, so maybe if you just so happening to be doing like a down 1 or a down 3, and he does the meter burn torpedo, he's going to fly over your head and you're going to be able to punish. But the thing is, like, that torpedo recovers kind of fast on whiff. So if he goes far over your head onto the other side of you, that still might be a difficult punish for some characters, you know what I mean? I definitely thought the torpedo was going to get harder than this, because this is barely a nerf at all, I would say. And I don't know if you guys were watching, like when Ninja Killer was using Peacemaker, a lot of the time when he's using torpedo, it's on reaction to, like, someone does a projectile or, a slow normal from full screen. And Peacemaker players would use the meter burn torpedo on reaction to punish those. So in those scenarios, it doesn't really matter that the torpedo's a high, because it's punishing something anyways. So Peacemaker, very small nerfs. I would say he's easily still top 2, top 3 in the game. Maybe even top 1, you know what I mean? His nerfs barely change anything. So Homelander, he's getting a bunch of his flight stuff fixed. So, a lot of the times his combos were very long, and he was only spending 1 bar for combos he should have been spending like 3 or 4 bars for. So that got fixed. So Homelander's probably not going to be a S tier character anymore. They changed his parry move. It used to only parry like certain punching attacks, and then there was a lot of punching attacks that looked like it should have parried, but it didn't. So you guys can look at the list on your own. It's way too many to name. But there was like 20 different changes for attacks that it didn't used to parry, but now it does, and attacks that it used to not parry, but and vice versa. So Cyrax, this was the biggest hit in the patch in my opinion. This was the hardest nerf out of everyone, which Cyrax, he just got reverted back to how he was pre-patch, to where it cost a full bar of cameo for the horizontal chopper. To me, in my opinion, that kind of kills Cyrax. I don't know, like, that might be an overstatement a little bit, but he was a top 3 cameo, right? Like during Final Combat, it was Cyrax, Janet, Chameleon. Those were easily the top 3 cameos in the game. As we all seen, Chameleon's probably better than Cyrax overall. There was so much more Chameleon than Cyrax at Final Combat. But yeah, Cyrax, now that horizontal chopper being back to costing a full bar of cameo, there's almost no characters that it's really worth using Cyrax over Chameleon or Janet now, or like Kung Lao cameo or something. I thought it was really cool seeing that the Sindel Cyrax player at Final Combat, he played so unique. I think his name was Soul. He was one of my favorite players to watch that weekend. But now someone like him, after these Cyrax nerfs, he might as well just use Sindel Kung Lao or Sindel Chameleon or something like that. I don't think Cyrax is going to be worth it with that the chopper costing a full bar. It's going to take way too long to come back. You lose access to your other cameo moves. So yeah, this patch, it just made Cyrax go from a top 3 cameo to like a bottom 3 cameo, pretty much. So he got hit the hardest out of everyone. So now let's look at the other top tier cameos. Chameleon. Reduce pushback on block of first 2 hits of roll and slightly reduce the pushback on block of the last hit. So they're basically just making the Melina ball roll punishable. I mean, it was already punishable, but a lot of times the pushback was really far and it could be awkward to punish. And it really sucked because the reward on it is so high. You want to make sure the risk on it is high too. So I think this is a good change, to be honest, making the Melina ball roll, making it more unsafe just to guarantee that the opponent gets the punish. And then reduce base health value to 250, down from 300. So this probably should have happened a long time ago already. I like these changes. With Chameleon, she's obviously the best cameo in the game. But just because she's the best cameo in the game, I don't want to see her go from top 1 to bottom 1. That's an improper way to nerf cameos or do nerfs in fighting games in general, in my opinion. Just because something is the best doesn't mean you have to make it suck. So I think those were really good nerfs. She's probably still going to be the best, but definitely just more risky to use, and you're going to be dying faster when you use her. So Janet Cage, slightly increased combo damage scaling on Hop Punch and Hop Skip Punch. So I'm not sure how big those changes are going to be. I would need to see combos like side by side, like this is how much it did pre-patch and this is how much it did post-patch. But if the combo damage is a lot, like if it makes 40% combos are now like 30% combos, that could be a pretty significant nerf actually. That could maybe make Janet fall out of the top 3 cameos. I'm not sure. But if it's only a slight damage nerf, like, oh, your 30% combos are like 28% now or something, she's still going to be the second best cameo in the game right behind Chameleon. So overall, like decent patch, I guess. Like, I wish that they didn't just nerf Cyrax into the ground. Like, it's obvious that at Final Combat, he's not the best cameo, If he's only the second or third best cameo, you can let him live. You can let him do his thing, So for them to nerf him that hard, but then only give Chameleon and Janet like small nerfs, and then for them to not nerf Johnny Cage at all, and then to give like Peacemaker like tap on the wrist nerfs, I'm not sure what the motivation is for, like, what makes them decide to destroy some characters and then leave some characters be top tier. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I know that East Coast Throwdown, where Cyrax was the best cameo, that was kind of ugly to watch, just like everyone chipping each other out with Cyrax nonstop. I get, like, it's probably like, yeah, we don't want anything like that to ever happen again. So to make sure nothing like that ever happens again, we're going to make Cyrax cost a full cameo bar. I get it, but the meta has shifted since then. And even if that old Cyrax existed, he's not going to be the best cameo in the game. It's Chameleon now. And even if Cyrax was that strong, the characters that made the most use out of Cyrax, like Baraka, Raiden, they got nerfed. So they don't use Cyrax anymore. And the characters that also use Cyrax, like Johnny Cage, he actually benefits more from Chameleon now than he does from Cyrax. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think, in my opinion, they could have kept Cyrax the same. Maybe they could have nerfed Johnny a little more. Maybe they could have nerfed Peacemaker a little more. To be honest, like, I don't want to nerf characters. But if that's the only way that you're going to balance, then yeah, Peacemaker and Johnny could have been nerfed more. But what we should be focusing on instead of nerfs, we should be focusing on buffs. Like, buff all the cameos that got nerfed, like Striker, Kano, Kung Lao. Buff them all back to what they used to be before. And just all the characters in the game, like Havoc's obviously low tier, Shao, buff them. Let's just buff everyone and make this game crazy. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments.